Hello Arsenal Fan TV fans, my name is Jack Reeve, coming over from Talk Norwich City today, and Robbie has asked me to do my Arsenal player ratings from 1 to 10. So basically I'm going to be going through your starting 11 of the last game that started against Zagreb, 1 being the worst player in the world, 10 being the best. So let's start with Petr Cech. I want to give Cech a 9. I think Arsenal fans were right in saying this guy can win you points. There's not many goalkeepers in the league that can single-handedly win you games, but Petr Cech is at that high level, and he's been at that high level for a long, long time. And he has the ability to do so because he's just that good. He's pulled off so many great saves already this season. I know he had a bit of a shaky start, but I think Petr Cech is the man that you needed and a sure pair of hands in the net. Next up, Bellerin. Bellerin's been a bit of a out of nowhere, really, hasn't he? I mean, I didn't really know too much about him last season, but he's really come to the helm this year and performed really well. I'm going to give Bellerin an 8. I still don't think he is at the top of his game. I still think he's got a lot more to come, but that's surely only exciting for you guys because Bellerin has been absolutely brilliant this season. So he gets an 8. Mertesacker, I'm going to give Mertesacker a 6. That might sound a bit harsh, but I think the best days are past Mertesacker. I think he's slow. I think he's cumbersome. And I don't think he's a Premier League centre-back anymore. I just don't think he's got the ability that he once had, and I think Arsenal could do better than him. And I've watched Mertesacker a few times this season, and the times I have watched him, he's looked like the weak link in your Arsenal team. So Mertesacker gets a 6 off me. Next up, Koscielny. I'm going to give Koscielny an 8. I think he's one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. Just a really, really all-round great centre-back. He's good on the ground, he's good in the air, he's strong, and he commands his team well. That's all you want from a centre-back. Koscielny has all of them traits. He's a fantastic player. Next up, Monreal. Again, not a massive fan of Monreal. I'm going to give Monreal a 6. I think you've got better players in your team, and I think Monreal, like Mertesacker, could possibly be a weak link when you're performing against them top teams and looking to go and get that Premier League title. Monreal, I don't think is a Premier League winner. I don't think he's got it in him, and I think Monreal could once again be a weak link, so I'm going to give him a 6. Next up, Matthew Flamini. I kind of like Flamini. I'm going to give him a 7. I think he's a fairly run-of-the-mill average player, but every side needs one of them. We've got Gary O'Neill in our side. I'm comparing him to Matthew Flamini. I think he's a decent player. Once again, I don't think he's great, but he's one of them players who he's always good to have in the squad, always good to have them there when just to rotate your team. And as we saw earlier in the season against Tottenham, he can come up with a few goals as well. So an important squad player to have in your team, Flamini, but not ever going to set the world alight. Next up, Santi Cazorla, probably one of my favourite players in the Premier League to watch a couple of years ago, but I don't think he's at that level anymore. He's getting on a bit, the legs are getting on a bit. I think he's a cracking player and he's an important player to have, but he's kind of been overshadowed with the performances of Sanchez and Ozil and even Giroud this season. I think that's why I'm only going to give Cazorla a 7, because I think he was better a couple of years ago, and I'm sort of comparing him to that. But I'd definitely take Cazorla and Norwich. I think he's a decent player, just not the player he used to be. But he's very intricate on the ball, and I like that about him. Next up, Campbell. I kind of like Wenger's philosophy of trying to bed Campbell in. I think he's got potential, and I think he's shown that potential with a couple of goals, but he's not clinical enough. He's not going to win you the league, I don't think. Yes, he might score you a couple of goals, but he's probably going to miss a lot of chances as well, and that's the ruthless side of trying to bed youngsters in the Premier League, I'm afraid. There's not really any other way to do it except for loan them out, and you just can't keep loaning them out, so you either give them the chance and take the risk, or you don't give them the chance at all. I only gave Campbell a 6 because I haven't seen enough from him this season. You're probably going to disagree with me there, but honestly, if you take a step back and look at Campbell, just think about it. Is he going to win you the league single-handedly? Is he going to win the league alongside Giroud? Don't think so. Campbell gets a 6 off me. Ozil, I'd say the second best player in your team. I think your best player is coming up after this. I'm going to give Ozil a 9. Absolutely astonishing this season. So many assists. Such an important player for Arsenal, and these are the calibre of players that you need if you want to kick on and win the Premier League and do well in the Champions League. Ozil is a top player, and I didn't think I'd be saying that a season ago because I thought Ozil wasn't really the player you needed. I didn't think he was ever going to come to the form that he did at Real Madrid. But he's started to do that now. He's bedded into the Premier League. He's found his way in the Premier League. And I really like that about Ozil. He's kept on trying, and the Arsenal fans have kept on believing in him, because I know a lot of other clubs maybe wouldn't have had the faith in Ozil that some of you guys have done. I want to give Ozil a 9. I think you just have to on this season's performances alone. I think the best Arsenal player is Alexis Sanchez. He's an absolute brilliant player. I love watching Sanchez. He's direct, he's quick, he's got everything about him. He's good in, he's got a fantastic delivery on him. He's got a good shot on him. Sanchez is a player that every single team wants. He's a player who could go into any team and change it. He's the kind of player who can change games single-handedly. You've already seen that from him since he's joined Arsenal, the amount of games he's changed on his own, and they're the players you need, the top-class players who on their own can pick up the game by the scruff of his neck, throw it down and say, look, this is Arsenal's game to win. I just hope he doesn't turn up on Sunday against Norwich City. Sanchez gets a 9 off me. And finally, Olivier Giroud, 10 out of 10 for the hair, but 8 out of 10 on the pitch. I think Giroud is a good player. I think his goal scoring statistics are very good, and statistics don't often lie. I think I would probably rate him a bit higher if he had someone as good as him or better than him alongside him, because I think there's way too much pressure heaped on Giroud. He has one bad game and suddenly all the Arsenal fans are on his back. I think that's wrong. I think Giroud's a good player. There's just way too much pressure on him to try and win Arsenal the league single-handedly and score all their goals. He's good in the air. He's clinical in front of goal. That's what I like to see in a striker, the perfect Premier League striker. Olivier Giroud gets an 8 off me. Anyway, they are my Arsenal player ratings. I hope you agree with them. I think I was fair. Yeah, I kind of like Arsenal as a team, and I like watching a lot of their players. I just hope that your players don't perform to them levels on Sunday. Mr. Wenger, I hope you're listening. Anyway, Robbie's done the Norwich player ratings over on my channel, Talk Norwich City. So head over there and take a look. Subscribe if you want to, and also subscribe to Arsenal Fan TV, because why not? They're the best fan channel on the internet. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon.
So let's look at Norwich. Who are their danger men? I suppose you've got to go with Nathan Redmond. He's their top